Sanchez rockets one out to right center. He admires his work, and he leaves the yard.
Miami Marlins baseball is on deck.
First pitch to Connor Norby, ripped on the ground. That's a fair ball in the third base line. That got all the way into the corner. First pitch to Matt Mervis, left on left. He drills out to right and deep, and Mervis, 93 center cut, and Mervis did not miss it.
Marlins on deck. Brought to you by ADT, the official smart security partner of the Miami Marlins, and Norwegian Cruise Line. Experience more at sea. Let's head out to the ballpark. Here's your host, Steven Strong.
Well, nice job, Carlos. Welcome. Live from Lone Depot Park here in beautiful Miami, Florida, inside Lone Depot Park. The roof is open. The vibes are immaculate on this Thursday afternoon. 81 degrees and ready for baseball. You're listening to Miami Marlins baseball on the radio. This is opening day 2025, the best day of the year. The clatter of the cleats, the crack of the bat, the pop of the mitt. It's all back for the next 8 months as the Marlins enter their 33rd year in franchise history. This afternoon, we bring you game one of a 4-game set between your Miami Marlins and the Pittsburgh Pirates. The man of all matters that needs no introduction, Sandy Alcantara, will strut out today to start his already franchise record 5th career opening start for Miami. Alcantara will go opposite another man that doesn't need an introduction either, the reigning National League Rookie of the Year, 22-year-old Paul Skeens, who took over baseball and dominated headlines. He kicks off his sophomore campaign for the Pirates. It all starts at 4:10 right here on the Marlins Radio Network. We made it. Hello, everyone. Thanks for making Marlins on Deck a part of your Thursday afternoon with Jack McMullen and 4-time World Series champion Jeff Nelson. I'm Steven Strom. We're going the distance here this afternoon, 2:30 pregame show. We got a first pitch at 3:10 or 4:10 rather. Here's a lineup. We've got a really deep and distinguished guest list for you. We have chairman and principal owner Bruce Sherman. He will join the program. He sat down with Jack McMullen. President of Baseball Operations Peter Bendix will also hop in as well. Jack and Clayton McCullough sit down, get you ahead of the count. We were supposed to have Jeff Nelson on for pregame. He is going to go on the TV side and make sure he handles his duties there. Then he'll be back with us, but I'll bring Jack on. We'll do a little back and forth. Of course, our player intros with Frank Fernandez, X-Poll question of the day, and you know what is back and better than ever? Steve's Guarantees. All right, where the heck do we start here, folks? A lot has happened since opening day of 2024. There's a new roster. Only one player from last year's starting lineup is playing today. That's Nick Fortes. There's an entirely different coaching staff, including a head honcho coming off a World Series title, Clayton McCullough. Heck, there's a new radio voice in the booth right now. Welcome, Jack McMullen, again. Thank you, Kyle Seeloff, by the way, for the blood, sweat, and tears he put into this. It is in good hands. But, sometimes change is a good thing. And the biggest change to this franchise is a word that the organization really has not been able to say: direction. President of Baseball Operations Peter Bendix inherited a team that made the playoffs in 2023, kept the team intact, added a shortstop in Tim Anderson, and after an 0-9 start, the Marlins, they had to pivot. They acquired a plethora of prospects, and now Miami, their top 30 farmhands include 19 prospects that were not here a year ago. And after a strong finish to the season last September, 12-14, taking series from playoff contending teams like the Phillies, and the Twins didn't make it, but they were in the thick of things. Guys like Xavier Edwards and Connor Norby shined, giving the Marlins new faces to the franchise. However, one face that is the franchise will be back after missing the entire 2024 season. Sandy Alcantara, who is back for season 7 with Miami. He'll make his 5th career opening day start, and he faces off against one of the best in Paul Skeens. A baseball purist nirvana will take place here at 4:10. Want to get to the sound here with Sandy Alcantara yesterday talking about the matchup with Paul Skeens and just how excited he is to get the 2025 season going.
Excited, about myself, but happy about him. He's good. The stuff that he got, people know that he can compete. But, just be out there over there, again, one of right now best pitcher on the game, and it feels good, just be out there and do my job, and just let them, compete against me, and I do my best. Don't be shy, don't be scared, because that's the game, that's the same sport, and just be out there and do the same that I was doing on my last 4 opening day.
Do you think you'll be nervous?
Maybe a little bit, because I was out for, long time. But I mean, I feels good, just be out there and throw first pitch and let everything happen. And I can't wait to be out there, represent my country and my team.
All right, that was Sandy Alcantara, who again will start today. His 5th opening day start. The all-time franchise leader, Josh Beckett and Josh Johnson, have made 3 opening day starts. Unbelievable. And also, the last opening day win for Miami was on July 24th of 2020. Remember that COVID season, and Sandy Alcantara did start that game. The traditional opening day, the last time the Marlins won, was on March 31st of 2014, beat the Rockies 10-1. The Marlins are due for one here on opening day. Sandy Alcantara, again, will go opposite Paul Skeens. We've got an action-packed program ahead. If you missed the Open, Bruce Sherman, Peter Bendix, Clayton McCullough, we have an awesome show for you. Again, going the distance here this afternoon. Let's break. We will have Bruce Sherman on next with Jack McMullen. It's going to be a 4:10 first pitch. Marlins and Pirates, first of 4 for Miami, right here on the Marlins Radio Network.
Upgrade your family.
Norby hands next to his right ear, ready, and he sends one into left center field. That's in for a base hit. Kaperniak picks it up. Run is going to score. Serna wheels around, goes first to third, and Sanoha in on the RBI single from Connor Norby. An older woman picked it up off the ground. Norby rips one into left center. That's in for a base hit. He's got a 2 RBI day. Conine stops at second, and Connor Norby with a multi-hit, multi-RBI day. It's 2-0 in the third. First pitch to Brantley. He rips down the right field line. That is tailing towards the line. It is gone, and it's a home run. A screamer of a line drive. And Rob Brantley parks one towards the Cardinal complex. A 3-run home run, and the Marlins are up 5-0 in the bottom of the third. At third, Edwards at short. Presumably Otto at second. Stowers lines one just over the glove of Mason Wynn at short into center. Around third, Connor Norby heads home, and he scores. And it's a 3 spot for the Fish in the 5th. RBI single for Kyle Stowers. No score in the bottom of the first. And Jonah Bride lifts one out to center field and deep. Michael Ciani working back, ranging to right center. He jumps up, and it's off the top of the wall. The right fielder Walker picks it up. Bride wheeling around second, headed to third. Wynn's relay throw is not in time, and Jonah Bride has a 2-out triple.
Marlins and National Mover of the Year, Good Greek.
Good Greek, moving and storage. Your superhero movers.
Back here in the Magic City, live from Lone Depot Park. The roof is open, 82 degrees. Folks, it is absolutely pitch perfect for a baseball game. This is how baseball is supposed to be played outdoors. Opening day 2025. Great to have you aboard Fox Sports 940. Miami, this is Marlins on deck. Steven Strom, Jack McMullen, and Jeff Nelson. Those two have your call at 4:10. It's the first of 4 with the Pittsburgh Pirates. Tough start, obviously, last year to the season. This Pirates team went 7-0 against the Marlins in 2024, including that first 4 games here in Miami that the Marlins lost. Looking for a little revenge, a little payback. Sandy Alcantara will make his return back to the mound for the first time in 571 days. We saw him in spring. He was ultra impressive. He didn't give up an earned run. He will go opposite Paul Skeens, and I would challenge you to find a better matchup on the mound in baseball than Paul Skeens and Sandy Alcantara. I mean, if you're a baseball, again, traditionalist, this is your dream right here, Sandy and Skeens. Okay, again, we have an awesome show for you today. We've got Peter Bendix. We've got Clayton McCullough that's going to join us. Jack will join as well for segment 4 for a little back and forth. But I wanted to start here with Marlins owner Bruce Sherman and Jack McMullen. So let's throw to that right now. Jack sat down with Bruce for about 10 minutes, went over a plethora of different things. So let's get to that sound now. Here was Jack McMullen and the Marlins owner, Bruce Sherman.
All right. Thanks, Steven. Mr. Sherman, I'm so curious from your perspective what opening day is like. And first and foremost, thank you so much for taking the time. But as a baseball fan, what does this day mean to you? And you've been around tons of opening days, this one in particular, but opening day as a whole. What is that like for you?
And before I answer that, just a quick congratulations, Jack, for having this position at such a young age, and you were so terrific. It was an easy choice for the organization to make.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate that. But now we can get back to baseball, right? Enough about me. But
Absolutely. So most importantly, it takes me back to 1993. I was living in Naples, Florida. I'm a huge baseball fan. The excitement in baseball in Naples, Florida was going to Friday Night Lights. That was it. So once the Marlins came, I could maneuver over to Broward County and go to a baseball game. So I remember that first opening game in 1993, opening day, excuse me. Well, it was the opening game too. And it's just exciting to have baseball in Florida. And then eventually we have two teams in Florida. So it's exciting. So the spirit of baseball, which goes back to my youth, goes all the way back to New York City, is extraordinary. And I'm nervous. And I'm not nervous for myself. I'm nervous for Sandy. I'm nervous for Peter Bendix. I'm nervous for Clayton, right? Sandy was without a year. Clayton's his first managerial job. I'm nervous for them. I don't hit the ball. I don't pitch the ball. But it's extraordinarily exciting, and it's almost a rite of passage and a privilege to be here.
I'm curious about Clayton because obviously this is the first time that he's going to manage a Major League Baseball game. During the offseason, as you've gotten to know Clayton McCullough, what has that experience been like for you, and what made him the right guy for this job?
Clayton, and I've had too much practice in interviewing managers, but I'm the kind of closer, if you will, in those interviews. But the reality is Clayton was easygoing. He just won a ring. He was never about himself, even though Ohtani was stealing 50 bases while he was the first base coach. It was all about winning. And I think as much as I can say about Clayton, we just had a dinner closing spring training, and I hadn't really met Jill. And I met Jill, and well, everybody's talking, baseball with Clayton. Are you going to bunt? You're going to hit and run? What's your style going to be? I'm talking about Jill and her kids and what Clayton is like. The fact that Clayton lived in Jupiter the last 9 years. So it's great to have a manager who happens to live in Jupiter, even though he's obviously moving to Miami. But he's just a kind of person who I think will motivate and keep the clubhouse together. And it'll be cohesive, and it will be one unit, front office, business office, players, coaches. And just hanging around the batting cage like I did yesterday for an hour and a half, he's very accessible to everybody, and he wants his players to be accessible.
It has been amazing so far getting to know him. And, even before batting practice, he's coming up to Steven and I and just saying hello, chatting for 5 minutes, which is just phenomenal. And he doesn't need to do that, but he is, and it's great. We all got back from Jupiter a couple of days ago. What jumped out about spring training to you this year? What excites you about what you've seen the last month or so?
In a funny way, we're not going to see Jupiter the way it was because the organization and ownership is committed to an enormous sum of money to re-Jupiter all the playing facilities. What jumped out, and not the fields, primarily the clubhouse, the weight room, the training rooms, etc. That's all going to change. Just like we've done at Marlins Park, Lone Depot, if you will, we've made it the best of the best, and we're going to make that. In terms of the baseball operations, what jumped out at me at Jupiter was the sheer number of people and the sheer number of at-bats we gave people who AAA, AA, single A, complex league, et cetera, players who were given an opportunity. And I thought we did an excellent job of managing the players. And I was tickled we didn't have any injuries until we had the last two bad ones, Ryan and Norby. But what jumped out to me was a good feeling amongst not only the players, but ownership, and especially all the new coaches, because it's a new team.
Interesting. That's very good. We're speaking with Bruce Sherman. And, pivoting to this matchup today on opening day, we have the best starting pitching matchup in Major League Baseball happening here at Lone Depot Park. To see Sandy back on the mound, it's been since September of 2023. What's that going to be like for you to sit there and watch this guy throw 100 miles an hour and look like the Cy Young winner from 2022?
Sandy's proven everything in all the years he's been here. I've spent a lot of time with Sandy. I flew down to Dominican with him when we cut the ribbon on the facility there, came back with world-class guy. Serious. We talked about his video games. We talked about his family. My wife loves him, not because he's a star that he is, but because the kind of person. I know not to go near him within 24 hours of a game. I passed him in the I passed him in the field the other day, and he looks pumped. He's ready to go, and it's an extraordinary matchup. Does he get more? I think Paul Skeens needs to worry about Sandy more than Sandy needs to worry about Paul Skeens.
I love that.
There's a sidebar to that. As I'm driving in and the roof is open, which I knew it would be, I kept saying to myself, Skeens is more of a strikeout pitcher than Sandy. Sandy's a put the ball in play, weak contact guy. I said, pretty windy out here. What's it going to be like with the roof open today? Do we want to close the roof? And I said, no, that's not baseball. Baseball deserves to be outside if it can be outside.
And it is going to be a beautiful day for baseball. And Dan Marino obviously throwing out the first pitch today and a great post-game concert as well. What's the communication been like with Caroline O'Connor and the rest of the business side, making Lone Depot Park, the place to be in Miami today and moving forward?
I'm privileged to have Caroline as the president of business. She's a superstar. She did a media event recently, and she was just terrific. I thought I was reasonable. She's just terrific. In fact, she should be the one who's talking to the microphone now. And Caroline is 24/7. She opens the stadium, closes the stadium, interacts with the baseball people, interacts with Peter, interacts with CFO, and she goes to every Major League Baseball meeting with me because she's the president and she deserves to have the interaction with all the other teams. And she learned so much from the other 29 teams and how they operate their stadium and their team.
Mr. Sherman, last one for you. In terms of players that you are excited to watch with the Miami Marlins this year, who are the guys that jump out? Obviously, we got a little taste of Xavier Edwards last year, 70 games. He was outstanding. Otto Lopez was great defensively. Who are some of the guys that you can't wait to see put on this jersey every single night for the next 6 months?
There's so many of them. They're young. We understand they're young. I think we have two players over 30. And some will come up and some will come down. I spoke to Ryan Weathers just yesterday outside. How's your arm? He said, it's coming along. He hasn't thrown yet, but it's coming along. He expects to be out there soon. The rotation, I'm looking forward to Cabrera coming back and towing the rubber. And on the infield, we had a pretty good infield the last 2 months of the year. Xavier to Otto Lopez. I mean, the defensive metrics were incredible for Otto Lopez. Norby can hit the ball. And I was excited about what that left side of the infield is going to do, including second base. And but there's so many, I want to see Jesus Sanchez get up there and hit the 30 home runs he's capable of doing. We have a lot of young people. So it's not just one. Sandy's obviously an exception. But the reality, it's a team, and it takes a team to win a game. It doesn't take one player to win a game. And I think we're going to surprise a lot of people this year, next year, and the years going forward.
Mr. Sherman, thank you so much for taking the time, and enjoy today.
A pleasure to be here. I certainly will. Thank you.
All right, Stephen.
All right. Very good stuff right there with Jack McMullen and Bruce Sherman, who is crazy enough in season 8 with the Miami Marlins, took over in 2018. Cannot believe it's 2025. We are live from Lone Depot Park here. StreamYard, hello, Fox Sports 940. Turn that dial up a little bit more. Steven Strom with Jack McMullen. And Jack, I wanted to bring you on. I want to get sort of your takeaways just from your conversation with Bruce. We have an awesome show for everyone that's just joining. Bruce Sherman just went there, Peter Bendix later on, and Clayton McCullough. But just your initial couple of takeaways, Jack McMullen.
Yeah, I had a great time interacting with Mr. Sherman. That was the first chance I got to meet him in person. I had communicated with him a little bit before that, and that's a guy that loves the Miami Marlins and loves this fan base
and wants
here in
to win.
South Florida and wants
to win so bad.
And no, it has been great, and just hearing the positive things around spring training for the last month and coming here and just feeling the energy around the ballpark so far. Today, we got here about 10:30 in the morning. I'm so excited for this, and that conversation with Mr. Sherman left me feeling even more excited for what's to come in the 2025 season.
Feels like really everyone is on the same page. I think we're starting to hear the same buzzwords collectively from the top man all the way down to the players to the coaches.
And that's what he said. Everything, there's no branches here. It's just one big trunk, and it's working really well together. And we've seen that. And that was obviously something that they prioritized going into this offseason, and they've executed that plan perfectly. It really does feel like, and I know every single organization wants to say this, but it really does feel like it is a big family here in Miami. And I think Mr. Sherman and Carolina and Peter Bendix have done just an exceptional job at making that a reality.
Couldn't agree with you more, buddy. We will have you back on in probably a couple of segments. But that was Jack McMullen and Bruce Sherman. Let's break here again. A ton left more on the bone. A lot of meat on the bone here this afternoon. It's opening day 2025. Arguably the best day in all of sports. We are so excited to bring you Marlins baseball, all 162 for the next 8 months. It's back, Sandy and Skeens at 4:10. We will break. We'll hear from President of Baseball Operations, Peter Bendix. Got a chance to sit down with them. this afternoon. That's all next right here on the Marlins Radio Network. At Lone Depot, we're big on home. Home games, home teams, home field advantage, and you better believe it, home runs. For us, home.
Most part. Last year at West Virginia, he didn't play shortstop. That one hit well by Griffin Conine and deep. Koperniak back to the wall. He leaps up, and it's gone. Griffin Conine, first pitch, ambush. And with a high arcing 2-run shot, the Marlins have a lead in the top of the second.
It was like a crossover and have them fall over. Yeah. Just like that.
Sanchez rockets one out to right center. He admires his work, and he leaves the yard. Ooh. Right center field, Jesus Sanchez, his first home run of the spring.
Oh, he crushed that ball. That ball was hit well. Backspun.
It is. Mentioned OPS just under 780. Nick Fortes drills one out to left and deep. Jose Barrero back to the track and the wall, and it's gone. Nick Fortes exits stage left. His first home run of the spring, and the Marlins bats starting to come alive in Grapefruit League play. First pitch to Matt Mervis, left on left. He drills out to right and deep, and Mervis leaves the yard for the second time this spring. 93 center cut, and Mervis did not miss it. Sousa, the left-hander, comes set. We have the 2-1. That one hit well out to center field and deep. Dubon back, warning track on the wall, and it's gone. Derek Hill leaves the yard to straightaway central. 2-run blast for the Marlins center fielder. And they double their lead. 2-spot in the 6th. Makes it 7-3.
Hey, this is Andrew Nardi, and you're listening to Marlins on Deck with Steven Strom on the Marlins Radio Network.
Right here on the Marlins Radio Network, Fox Sports 940. Carlos back in the studio. Steven Strom here. Jack McMullen there. Jeff Nelson somewhere doing some TV. He'll be back with us for the start of the game here this afternoon. Sandy Alcantara, Paul Skeens. First time in 571 days we will see Sandy Alcantara. The National League Rookie of the Year will go opposite Paul Skeens. Awesome matchup on the mound. Skeens making some history. He is the youngest opening day starter since Jose Fernandez. He will go opposite Sandy Alcantara, who has just been a workhorse his entirety of probably his career, right outside of probably his first year with St. Louis. Sandy will start here. We are so excited to get to see him back on the hill. No other guy to lead this franchise who is entering the 33rd year of existence. The Marlins have been in existence for 33 years, and this is the 14th opening day at Lone Depot Park. So, again, it's great to have you back. It's great to have you aboard. We're so pumped up to bring you Marlins baseball. Got a chance to sit down with President of Baseball Operations, Peter Bendix. And, you know, it's been an interesting start to Peter Bendix's career here, if we're going to call it that. Inherited a team that won 84 games in 23 with Skip Schumacher and company. He decided to keep the team intact, added some free agents, added Tim Anderson. And then the start to the season, we talked about it last year, 0-9 against the Pittsburgh, or 0-7 rather, against Pittsburgh Pirates, 0-9 in total to start that 2024 year. Peter Bendix had to make the tough decision to pivot. He did. Now this prospect pool looks entirely different. I think 19 of their 30 top prospects were acquired last season. We saw a ton of them during spring training. So it's been a revamped system. The Marlins obviously went with a different coaching staff as well. Clayton McCullough in company as your head honcho, but a lot of first-year guys in different positions from a coaching perspective, and a lot of first-year guys from a playing perspective, right? Looking at the lineup, and Jack will read it to you. But other than Xavier Edwards, Kyle Stowers, we saw Jonah Bride last year, and Nick Fortes, this is pretty much an entirely different lineup that doesn't have a ton of experience, but really in a good spot to prove that they belong at this level. And when you do get that collective grit and that urgency, I think that's something that is powerful and that can hopefully translate into wins. Okay, got a chance to sit down with Peter Bendix. Let's get to that conversation now that we had earlier this afternoon prior to opening day 2025. Okay, Peter, first of all, thank you for joining me. I don't know if there's a better way to start off the baseball season with the roof open, and then we get to watch Sandy Alcantara make his return against Paul Skeens.
It's an exciting day. It's a beautiful day. And I think we all have that nervous opening day energy that is just something you really can't replicate.
Yeah, what can you tell us about how you're feeling? This is your second year now of president of baseball operations.
I'm feeling optimistic. I'm feeling excited. I think we have a lot of talent right now on the field. We have a lot of talent in the minor league system, and we're really building this organization to where it needs to get to. And we're starting to see the fruits of that already.
We had an awesome spring, right? We had a lot of different guys play on this roster. We saw some of the plethora of talent in the system. What were some of your takeaways if you did have, a couple? I know it's hard with spring training to look too deep into it.
It's always easy to be optimistic in spring training, but we also had a lot of reasons for optimism. I think a lot of our players got better. They showed the desire to get better. The work that we're doing pregame to help our players get better, we're seeing the benefits of that. And I think we're going to start to see that even early on. Guys like Max Meyer, who have, I don't want to say reinvented himself, but made a tremendous improvement. I'm really excited to see him and a lot of these other guys.
I'm glad you brought up some of the innovative things and we talked about it on the podcast, Peter. You guys said you were going to do these things and you stuck by them. Day one, you're going live. What are some of the things maybe you're going to carry over into the regular season, just doing things differently from a baseball perspective?
Ultimately, it's making practice as game-like as possible. We know that's how players get better, and it's difficult to do that in a 162-game schedule, but we can make practice more focused, more intentional, more game-like, and it's going to get our players better.
How long did that process take? When did that start come about where you're like, as a group, we need to do things differently?
It was something we talked about all offseason as we were hiring coaching staff, as we were hiring player development staff, this understanding of we need to do things better. Sure. And this is the way that we're going to do that. So I think we brought in a lot of people that had their own ideas, and spring training was a time for everybody to gel.
What does a successful 2025 season look like for Peter Bendix?
It comes down to our players getting better. At the big league level, in the minor leagues, if we can get our players better at a rate faster than the league, then we're going to be in really good shape moving forward.
The fans here that come out, what do you want them to take away from today with this specific group? So many new guys and so many promising guys that are going to make their major league debuts here on opening day.
We have a lot of talent. We have a lot of exciting players. These guys are hungry. They're driven. They're here to prove that they are big leaguers. They're here to prove that they can be part of our future, that they can be superstars. And I think we're going to see a scrappy, really driven group.
I'm putting you on the spot. I want you to give me a couple of prospects that you have your eye on that you are very much excited to see. Maybe not this year, but in the future.
A couple of guys in AAA that I'll start with that we might see sooner rather than later. Max Acosta, Davison De Los Santos, Agustin Ramirez. They made excellent impressions on us. Adam Mazer on the pitching side made a really good impression during spring training. Some of the younger players that might be a little further away but are still very exciting. Andrew Salas is an international free agent that we just signed, 17 years old, really advanced hitter. Dylan Head, we acquired in a trade, fully healthy, one of the fastest, most dynamic players in the minor leagues. And Starlin Caba, who already looks like a big leaguer defensively and has all the ingredients to be a really good offensive player too.
Peter Bendix with us now, couple left for you. You didn't get to see Sandy last year, obviously. It's been 571 days. I wasn't counting or anything. What is it going to be like watching Sandy take them out on opening day from your perspective?
He's one of the best pitchers in baseball. He's a Cy Young winner. He's just excellent at his craft, and he has fantastic stuff. So watching him pitch, seeing him pitch against Paul Skeens, it's a great matchup.
Last one, superstitions. We talked with Clayton McCullough. He doesn't have a ton of them. Connor Norby told us if he strikes out or has a bad AB, he's taking off his batting gloves or switching his cleats. Any Peter Bendix superstitions that we can at least learn about here?
I have to be careful because I have a friend and former colleague who at one point ate a salad in the seventh inning of a game that they were trailing. They came back to win the game, and then he was forced to eat that salad in the seventh inning every time they were behind.
Fair.
So I have to be a little careful about the superstitions.
Very smart. Thank you very much for the time. Have a great season. We're looking forward to covering it all season long.
Thanks for having me.
All right, very heady by you, Peter Bendix. No superstitions, because imagine having to eat a salad every single day because you won a baseball game. No thanks. Excellent stuff. Want to put a bow on it. Can we pause for station ID, Carlos, back in the studio? Can we pause for station ID as we get to the top of the hour? Let me know. If we can, we'll do it. If not, I'd love to recap. Let's pause for station identification. This is the Marlins Radio Network.
#1 on your car radio preset and the new and improved iHeartRadio app. WINCA in Miami, WMIB-FM HD2 Fort Lauderdale. Free never sounded so good.
Welcome back here to Lone Depot Park. This is Marlins on Deck. Steven Strom, Jack McMullen, and Jeff Nelson. 4:10 first pitch, Sandy Alcantara, first time pitching in 571 days. He will go opposite Paul Skeens. And I did want to read this note because nice job by our game notes and our communication staff. This is history making. Do I dare say that? Today's opening day featuring Sandy Alcantara and Paul Skeens will be the second time in Major League Baseball's history a Cy Young Award winner will square off against a reigning Rookie of the Year. The last time this happened, Carl Morton, the great Carl Morton, 1970 NL Rookie of the Year, started on opening day in 71 against Tom Seaver, who won the Cy Young in 69. Excellent, outstanding job by our comms team. So awesome matchup on the mound. Now, here's my ADHD kicking in. Back to Peter Bendix. Two things I did want to mention. We talked about some of the innovative or taboo, dare I say, things that the Marlins have tried to do. Spring training day 1, the Marlins were going live. That was pretty much unheard of around amongst the baseball community, but they wanted to simulate those game reps. Now, what are some of those things, some of those tweaks that the Marlins have made? I'll tell you, we talked to a couple of members of the pitching staff, and they told us during their sims or just during their side sessions, if they throw a ball, instead of it just being a 1-0 count, it is now a 2-0 count. So those little things that the Marlins are trying to instill into their arms' minds of we're not going to get behind the count and there are consequences to the bad habits that we exhibit. And I think that's an interesting way to do things from a baseball perspective early on in spring. Second thing I want to hit on. I didn't know, I got to be honest with you. I did not think usually when you ask who are some of the names that stick out, usually you don't get a name. Usually you get, we're really excited about everyone. Got to give Peter Bendix credit here. He did name and he did say we could see these guys sooner than later. Max Acosta, who the Marlins acquired via Texas with the Jake Berger trade. He showed out in a big way during spring training. Augustin Ramirez, we know about the exit velo and his bat. 110, 115 consistently on the exit velo. Can he catch? We saw the strides early on with Joe Singley and company, the Marlins catcher head of development of catching, whatever it may be. But we saw these strides defensively from Augustin Ramirez. He's got the IQ. He's an interesting name that we could possibly see maybe sooner than later. That's what Peter Bendix told me. And Augustin Ramirez, of course, was part of that Jazz Chisholm Jr. trade. Adam Mazur, another interesting piece from San Diego. The Marlins have a lot of prospects from San Diego here, of course, with the Arise trade and then the Tanner Scott and Brian Hoeing trade that brought back a ton from San Diego. Adam Mazur, we saw. He is, he's a tall glass of water, 6'3", but really showed out during the spring. And with the Marlins rotation, can he fill a back-end spot throughout the course of a year? I would assume so. He's got options, so he started in AAA. But those are three names I think to keep an eye out on, according to Peter Bendix, Max Acosta, Augustin Ramirez, and he did say Davison De Los Santos, so I did want to mention that as well, and Adam Mazur. Excellent stuff there, Peter Bendix. Thank you very much for joining. Again, 4:10 first pitch, Marlins and Pirates, first of 4. Let's break here, and we got a couple things. I want to get you ahead of the count with Sandy and Skeens, and then we'll hear from Jack McMullen and Clayton McCullough on all the emotions that he must be feeling down on the field. Back in about 2 minutes right here on the Marlins Radio Network.
Batter up, homeowner.
And here's the 3-1 from Blackburn. Punched in the air to right field. Carrying very deep to right field. Soto goes back to the wall. He looks up, and it is gone. That big win to right field, carrying again.
It is. Mentioned OPS just under 780. Nick Fortes drills one out to left and deep. Jose Barrero back to the track and the wall, and it's gone. Nick Fortes exits stage left. His first home run of the spring, and the Marlins bats starting to come alive in Grapefruit League play. The Marlins and Michaelis, his 1-2 pitch. That one lined up the gut. That's in for a base hit, and that'll plate another. Walker comes up. He fires to second base, and Fortes scores from second without a throw. So Xavier Edwards has an RBI single, and it's 3-1 Fish in the fifth.
We have, blood panels done every spring, and, I'd always been told I was healthy. Well, ever since I was, in high school, I played, 3 sports. I was always, I wasn't like the other kids. I always keep a little bit of weight on, sure. And, even my mom and dad would be like, it's kind of a little bit weird. So this past year I went to a holistic doctor and got some blood work done and found out that I had a little bit of high insulin resistance. So it would just kind of sparked okay, what do I need to change? And obviously, I just started kind of doing the carnivore diet, and then now it's just animal based. Now I'm in a comfortable spot, so I eat fruit. I just try to, stay away from carbs and sugar really. It just keeps my body in a good spot. I recover a lot better. I've had weird injuries in my career.
Yeah, the index
so if I can, do that and eliminate just little small tissue injuries, then obviously if it benefits my career, I'm going to keep doing it.
Most part. Last year at West Virginia, he didn't play shortstop. That one hit well by Griffin Conine and deep. Koperniak back to the wall. He leaps up and it's gone. Griffin Conine, first pitch ambush. And with a high arcing 2-run shot.
Welcome back to Lone Depot Park here on opening day 2025. Steven Strom, Jack McMullen, and Jeff Nelson. They will have your call at 4:10 here this afternoon. Marlins' 33rd year in franchise history, and will play here at Lone Depot for the 14th time here in its existence. It is a beautiful day. The roof is open, about 82 degrees. I'm wearing a blazer right now, but I could take it off and just wear the white button down because you're starting to feel a little bit of the sneak peek of the summer. But Sandy Alcantara will start here this afternoon. He will go opposite Paul Skeens. And we have heard from Bruce Sherman, really good spot with Jack McMullen. Talked about a bunch of different things, what he's excited for, the cohesiveness of the front office, from the managers to the players, having a vision. We also heard from Peter Bendix, who I sat down with, name some prospects that he's excited for: Max Acosta, Augustin Ramirez, Davison De Los Santos, Adam Mazur, just a couple of the individuals that he did name. We also talked a little bit about, some of the little different things that they were doing in spring training, hoping to carry over in the regular season, instilling that live game-like simulation act for the pitchers. If they throw a ball, the count goes to 2-0, not 1-0. A lot of good stuff from that end if you're just into the nitty-gritty of baseball. Okay, let's get to today. And today is a special matchup. Sandy Alcantara and Paul Skeens. Let's get you ahead of the count. We'll start here with Sandy, who's just been the epitome of a workhorse. He's made 4 opening day starts. It'll be his 5th here this afternoon. 23 1/3 combined, 2.31 ERA. The Marlins have gone 1-3 in those opening day starts thrown by Sandy Alcantara. In 5 starts and 1 appearance career-wise against the Pittsburgh Pirates, he's 1-0 with a 2.91 ERA, over 34 innings pitched. In 23, tough to put a name on how to describe Sandy's season, because the ERA wasn't what we were used to. He threw to a 4.14 ERA. He was 7-12 in 23. But then you look at the innings, 184 2/3. He got hurt on that September 3rd start against the Washington Nationals after throwing 8 frames and 2 earned runs given up. But it was, I think, from an ERA standpoint, something we weren't used to from Sandy, especially because he had just come off that Cy Young Award winner in 2022. But you know what you're getting with Sandy. You know you're going to get a competitive edge that is ruthless. You know you're going to get a guy that is going to take the ball for at least 3 turns, try to get into that 6, 7, 8 inning. I mean, if it was up to him, he would go a complete game and throw 200 pitches. But you know what you're getting with Sandy Alcantara. And I think that is at the utmost importance for this season, particularly with the state of the Marlins rotation. It goes Sandy. Tomorrow we'll see Connor Gillespie. And then after that, Cal Quantrill, who has done it at this level, who has gotten to the point of 180 innings. But then on the back end, Valente Belloso, we saw last year, he made just 13 starts. Max Meyer in for, I think, a breakout season. But again, these are guys that have not proven to have, durability and the ability to throw, 150, 200 innings. So that is what we're getting here with Sandy Alcantara. Not only your anchor, your workhorse, but someone that you know is going to post every 5th day and get deep into the games and hopefully give your bullpen arms a rest. As we continue with Sandy Alcantara, he made 5 spring starts and it was dominant. 12 1/3, 0 earned runs. 10 punch outs. He's going to be asked to pitch a lot, like we mentioned, with the lack of experience and depth. And among qualifying starters from 2020 to 2023, Sandy is first in complete games with 10, second in innings with 661, and second in quality starts with 66. That spanned from 2020 to 2023. Okay, he will go opposite Paul Skeens. We have teased it. We've promoted it. We've been so excited about it. Here we are, 22-year-old right-hander from LSU. Went 11-3, really took over baseball. 1.96 ERA. The dude punched out 170 and didn't get to the majors till May. You expect Skeens to pass easily 200-plus strikeouts if he's healthy this year. He is the youngest opening day starter in team history and the youngest in baseball, since we mentioned Jose Fernandez, God rest his soul. Skeens faced Miami back on September 9th of 2023. Went 6 frames, 6 hits, 1 run, 9 punch outs, and his spring was pretty darn good too. 5 starts, 18 combined, 2.5 ERA, and 23 punch outs. So grab your popcorn, sit back, relax. I don't anticipate a ton of hits. I don't anticipate a ton of walks. I don't anticipate a ton of runs. So this could easily be a sub-2-hour game. Sandy and Skeens will go head-to-head. Jack McMullen yesterday got a chance to sit down with the first-year manager Clayton McCullough, who's starting to get his feet wet. He got it in spring training, did a nice job. Now he is going to make his managerial debut here this afternoon against the Pirates. Let's get all the feelings and what he is thinking as we approach opening day.
All right, thanks, Stephen. With the new skipper of the Miami Marlins, Clayton McCullough, I know you've done 30 or so spring training games, but at this point, man, we're talking right before opening day. Clayton, what is this like for you, just as an individual, getting to manage your first Major League Baseball game?
I think I don't know if I've fully wrapped my arms around it and grasped it yet. I think, when go out there for the announcements and, you're on the line and going through it, it'll hit me, having a lot of family here. So, in some ways you look back at all the bus rides you've taken, all the minor league stops, have a chance to be a major league coach, to then have a chance to manage a major league game. I know it's such a small fraternity of people that have ever been given that opportunity and had a chance to do it. So, it'll be very exciting. I'm hoping, I can't wait for the butterflies. I think that comes, on every opening day. This will be a little bit more significant and have a little more meaning to it.
Last question about you, and then we'll get to the game. But, this is not just a time commitment and an energy commitment from you. It's an energy commitment from your wife and your kids. And I saw a lot of little McCullough jerseys running around Jupiter, and they get to do it around a big league ballpark. Now, what is this day going to mean for your family, not just you?
It'll be special for all of us. I mean, how much sacrifice my wife has made, with all the travel, all the time away. It's as much her day as this is mine. And to have everyone here and be close to home for this first one makes it even more special. But I'll make sure I find her in the stands and acknowledge her, because none of this is able to get done and happen without her support and how she's able to keep things always moving at home.
Yep. You have one of the easier decisions in Major League Baseball, and that's sending Sandy Alcantara to the mound on opening day. What's going to be your final message to Sandy? Obviously, this guy has done this before. He's been the best on the planet at what he does before. But coming back off of that major elbow surgery, what are you going to say to him before he takes the mound?
I'll just tell Sandy, go enjoy this moment. You've worked so hard. Coming back from what you went through last year, through this offseason, to get to this point where you put yourself in a position to do this again. And I know this one will have a different level of significance for him, with what he went through. And I'm go take it all in. These are, while you've done this before, they're all special. And so, to sit there and watch him go through it is going to be a very cool moment for our fans, our organization, and, in particular, most importantly, for Sandy.
Welcome to managing a Major League Baseball game. You've got 102 miles an hour and a made-up pitch from a year ago that people are calling a splinker. What's the message to the team when it comes to dealing with a guy like Paul Skeens? Obviously, there's only so much you can do, but how are you getting the offense to a position where they can best attack one of the best pitchers in baseball?
I think, he's a difficult customer. He's, burst on the scene last year. So I think the message with our offensive guys will just be, you know what, you have your plan, you put it together, go do as best you can and stay disciplined and stubborn to your plan. And let's try to work them as best we can, try to create some traffic, try to stress them as many innings as we can. And, feel like if we can create opportunities for ourselves that, someone will, come through and cash in on those, but it'll be a very similar message as we've taken in spring training. I think as we have the course of the season that, we're going to face high quality arms, and it's just, one at bat at a time, have a plan, have an approach, go stick to it, and, let the game state and let the situation kind of dictate, what you're shooting to execute in that moment.
Clayton, last one for you. You had a lot of really good conversations with guys that are making their first opening day roster, maybe their first opening day start today. Did you have a certain conversation that jumped out to you, or maybe a few where, guys were getting emotional, or you just felt so proud to deliver the news to them?
That was the cool part, is you can see some of it is a sense of relief. Some of it is like just the emotion coming through how their journey, while, a number of them have played in the major leagues, but to be on an open day roster for the first time, hit them hard. And that's the really cool parts of this job, to be able to sit there and, you realize like the human side of this and the impact it has on them, their families. I remember, Veniciano was a really cool moment, Connor Gillespie, Liam Hicks, with his path to get here to this point and make an opening day roster. So I think in so many ways, the cool part is they each have their own story and journey to get to that point, and then to see them, release some emotion is, really cool to be able to share that with them.
Clayton McCullough, appreciate it. Best of luck today.
Thanks a lot.
All right, Stephen.
All right, excellent stuff right there. Jack McMullen and first-year Marlins manager Clayton McCullough, who again comes from Los Angeles, fresh off a World Series title. He is now your manager of the Miami Marlins. And Jack, as we bring you on here for the next, I would say 15, going the distance here, a 2:30 pregame. How about that? A little extra airtime for your boy Stevie up here.
It's beautiful.
Very good. Very good stuff. We've had an awesome time so far. 4:10 first pitch, less than an hour away. Skeens and Sandy. Getting to know Clayton McCullough, there's certain guys across baseball, whether it's a player, whether it's a coach, that they're easy to cheer for.
Yeah.
And I think we're in a position right here, the way that we've been able to connect with Clayton, with the podcasting, with being around him every day, you cheer for people like Clayton McCullough.
You definitely do. And I just brought this up a little bit ago with Mr. Sherman as well when we were sitting in his office. This is a guy that does not need to come up to the radio guys when he pops out of the dugout and just hang out for a minute before batting practice. But
yep.
That's what he's done so far. That's what he did before the exhibition. That's what he did before the team workout yesterday. And on opening day, this guy might be shaking in his shoes with nerves.
He came out with his hat on halfway up. He was chill.
Man, he was telling us all about his level of excitement for today, and his daughter's favorite player not being a player. It's Aaron Lenhart, the field coordinator. It's great. And then Lenny came up and said, you know what? She might be the only person in the Aaron Lenhart fan club, which is it's just gold. And the fact that Clayton has the level of comfortability to own this space already is so commendable. And I can't wait for 162 with him.
I totally agree, man. And he's come out with a certain amount of poise. We'll see once it gets going, Jack. But I think the way that he's gone about spring training and now the regular season, we shall see. But there is a certain amount of calmness to him. Like, I'm prepared. I'm ready. Here we are. Here we go.
I think he knows he has a lot of great people in his corner to help him.
I agree.
And I don't know.
We talked about that with the staff. No egos. There's not a ton of experience from a Major League Baseball standpoint.
Yeah.
But there is a collective, I talk about grit, will, eagerness to teach.
Yeah, and I think everybody shows up to work every day with a smile at this point, and that is just excellent to see from this coaching staff as a whole. And, I don't know about Clayton McCullough's delegation skills. We're not in the room for those conversations. But if he is a good delegator, and I'm sure that Dave Roberts in L.A. was a great delegator, and Clayton learned a lot from one of the best managers in Major League Baseball, a guy that's established himself for darn near a decade as the manager of the LA Dodgers. If he is delegating to these great people that are in there in the dugout with him and just in the clubhouse with him too, I think that can create
as close to a stress-free environment as you could possibly have in Major League Baseball. There is no environment in Major League Baseball that is stress-free. I will tell you that, and I promise you that.
You're right.
But if you can alleviate some of that by relying on smart people that are willing to do the job for you, I think that matters more than really anything else, and it feels like he's got those guys.
That's Jack McMullen. I'm Steven Strom. Fox Sports 940 Miami, 4:10 first pitch. Opening day 2025. The man of all moments. That's what I continue to refer to him as. Sandy Alcantara. Jack, it's your first time ever calling a Major League Baseball game in the regular season. Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
We're pleased to have you. And it's been so fun in the spring.
I'm pleased to be here. I'm privileged to be here.
I love that.
No, but man, I was just telling everybody this morning, like everybody that wanted to listen, I was just saying, Steven and everybody else have just been amazing to me so far. And this first month has been beyond even my greatest expectations. And this is accomplishing a dream, to be honest. And sometimes you get into those situations and it turns into a pressure cooker immediately. And it turns into something that, it may be a little too big for you at points. And you have done such an amazing job making me not only feel at home, but feel comfortable with literally everything we do. And Nelly has done that. Kelly Sacco has done that. Gabby Sanchez has done that. Rod Allen has done that. AJ Ramos has done that.
Yeah.
Everybody. And I want to give a big thank you to our communications department as well. John Eric Alvarez, Gali Sharoni, Adam Nichols, Louis Durante, and then the new intern as well, Zach Letson. They've been so nice to me and so welcoming.
Great.
And I'm so excited to get this big league journey going.
Yeah, we're so excited too, man. I mean, it's been a awesome first month, and now the real thing gets going. You're deserving of it. We're excited, and I think you're going to absolutely love our audience.
Yeah.
They are a passionate group. Marlins fans, they're intelligent.
Yeah.
They're energetic, and I am super excited to insert you into the family, and they get to know you because they've gotten to know me, and they love you. They'll call you out if, you're not telling the truth, and I appreciate that because we do want to have authenticity. We want to have fun.
Yeah.
But ultimately, and I said this at the end of my show in Toronto last year, I just want you to be able to look forward to something every single night.
Of course.
And I think that's the beauty of baseball on the radio. It's every single night for 162.
There is a level of comfort. And the reason that we get into this is because we are around every night for 6 months. Football is a unique one because football, you're around every Sunday.
Sure.
But there is comfort in the fall and winter knowing that every Sunday you can pop on the radio or pop on
We're
your
always
TV
there.
and see your
There's
favorite
a loyalty.
team. There's just a different level to baseball than I think football, than I think basketball, than I think really anything else that we have going right now, because you're right. We're here every single night. And what do we do on off days? I'll tell you, Steven unplugs.
I unplug.
And I just sit there and wait for baseball to come back. So
You're so perfect for this.
We've got this great blend going on here, man, where we're going to have a ton of fun. We're going to talk about some non-baseball stuff as the season progresses, but at its core, this broadcast is going to be about the baseball, and it's going to be about the baseball in a way that I think fans will enjoy and appreciate. Hey, this guy's good. Why is he good? Let's get into that. Hey, that's a big homer. Why is it a big homer? Let's get into that. And I think that we not only look to inform, but look to entertain as well. At the end of the day, this is the entertainment business, but I think we can do that by being very informative about the game itself and have some fun along the way. So I just cannot wait for this hybrid of baseball on the radio that you're going to get from the Marlins Radio Network.
You ready to cannonball into some baseball talk now?
Yeah, let's do it.
Beautiful. Can you believe this weather? Roof is open, by the way, folks that are just joining us.
It was a little hot. It was a little warm.
Please get out of here. Okay, let's get to the baseball here. Your expectations for Sandy and how he navigates this Pirates lineup.
I think it would be unfair to set expectations on Sandy Alcantara, and I mean that in a good way. And I'm not saying, the expectation is he goes 6 innings, a 1-run ball. That would obviously be a great start, but why can't he go 7 shutout? You know what I mean? It's just hard for me.
You don't want
to
put a cap on it. That's fair.
I don't want to put a cap on anything he does. And so much conversation this spring has been about the workload, not just on opening day, but throughout the entirety of the season for Sandy Alcantara. What's the workload going to look like for the entirety of the season? And that was a big story, and it was there was rebuttal locally from a national report.
Sure.
And what I will say about Sandy is I think it would just be really silly to set some sort of arbitrary limit.
Okay, then what does he have to do today to be like, all right, yep,
Sandy's
that's about
back.
right. Sandy's back. Sandy's back maybe is a little bit strong, but just like that's about right. Like you'd be satisfied driving back to your apartment here in Miami.
I think I don't know. If you're asking me for that, honestly, just look good, hit 100, or like hit 99 miles an hour.
I would say 5-6 innings.
Look like Sandy. I think 6 innings of 2-run ball is
Yeah.
something that I'm like, okay, Sandy gave us Sandy.
Yeah.
And 6 innings of 3-run ball is a quality start. So I would love to see a quality start from Sandy Alcantara.
One of my Steve's guarantees.
Really?
Yep. You just took one of them.
I know. Well, I didn't take it. I just said I would love to see it. So I didn't stamp
Fair.
it.
Fair.
But I do think Sandy can put together a game where we're looking at that and saying, Cy Young Award winner's back. Like, that is what I want to see today.
How do you go about disrupting Paul Skeens? Maybe particularly like preventing him from getting into a groove.
You jump on the heater.
Yeah.
And I was actually just having this conversation with a player who I won't name, and it's a really unique beast because people look at Paul Skeens, and I think a lot of fans just say, oh, shut it down. We're not beating this guy. He's one of the best in baseball. He may be the best pitcher on planet Earth right now. If he falls behind 2-0, 3-1, he wants to beat you with his fastball. That's the way that he is going to get back into a count and try and win that count. So if he falls behind 2-0, 2-1 on somebody, he's going to try and work with 99 to 100 miles an hour, maybe even 101. Is 101 really hard to hit? Yes, it is. But if you jump on the fastball, I'm not saying sit dead red. You're only looking for the fastball and you can't adjust to anything else. But if you're ready for the fastball at all times, I think that's how you beat him. It could be jumping on him early in counts, but I think if you manage to get ahead, if you have strong plate discipline and you get ahead in the count, you know that he's going to try and get even with you and then ahead of you with the fastball. So that, I feel like, is the thing. This guy's also incredibly talented, and I've read a little bit about the cutter that he's trying to add right now, which is another tool in the toolbox against left-handed hitters when he felt like he couldn't necessarily go to that sweeper a lot. Listen, he's really good. Like, it's an uphill battle every time, but there's a reason this is the best opening day pitching matchup in Major League Baseball.
A lot of firsts in this lineup as we try to figure out how you compute and how you solve someone in Paul Skeens. A lot of first-timers in the lineup for the Marlins, particularly on opening day.
Yeah.
Xavier Edwards, Kyle Stowers, Jonah Bride, Matt Mervis, Otto Lopez, Griffin Conine, Derek Hill, Graham Pauley, and Nick Fortes. I just gave you the lineup. One of those guys was in the starting lineup last year for Miami, Nick Fortes. Couple of tough offensive blows for the Marlins with no Connor Norby, no Jesus Sanchez. But what does the offensive identity, you think, look like with this group, particularly early on before they get these guys back into the lineup?
I think it's scrappy. You remember the point guard at Ohio State, Aaron Kraft?
Of course I do.
Just a lot of defense in your face, on-ball defense. It's great. I think we are going to be the Aaron Kraft of offenses.
Like, are we talking bunting? Or are we just talking just smart base running? What kind of small ball or just taking advantage of mistakes? That's what I'm in, because I think they do have a little pop.
They do.
Griffin Conine provides a little pop.
You give him a whole season, I think Griffin Conine can hit 25 homers
There you
in
go.
Major League Baseball. So what I will say is, I don't know if it's bunting. I don't know if it's as concrete as that. Oh, we're going to play small ball. We're going to play scrappy. I think, something that I've heard a lot from the coaching staff, extra 90. We hear that a lot. What they're referring to is the extra 90 feet that they could be taking, that extra base. Can you leg out a hustle double on a ball that's hit into the gap, but it's cut off by a center fielder rounding it in right center field? Now, this is the wrong center fielder to test today, and O'Neal Cruz, he's got one of the best arms in baseball, but Brian Reynolds struggles defensively in right field. If there is a ball hit to his backhand and he's got to come around it, why can't you try for two? I think that's the kind of baseball that we're going to see. Maybe fly balls to medium depth right field. Maybe we see a couple of guys tag up and try for third base. Is it going to result in some quote-unquote mistakes?
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. And that's going to happen over the course of a full summer of baseball. But I think these guys are going to keep their foot on the gas. And when you keep your foot on the gas, the other team feels sped up a lot.
Agreed.
And that can force some mistakes.
And we saw that a couple of times during spring training. I asked Peter Bendix, sometimes it's tough to look too deep into spring training, but I think there are things that are legit and that can carry over. And I think base running was one of them.
I think opportunistic base stealing was one of them. And you were talking about Augustin Ramirez with him. And Augustin was a guy that I think was 22 for 24 in the stolen base department in the minor leagues last year. As a catcher and as a huge human being.
Yes.
You look at him and you say, you're not swiping 20 bags.
Yep.
But guess what? He swiped 20 bags because he realizes that a pitcher is sleeping on him and he goes. I think that is kind of what embodies this Miami Marlins team as a whole. Nationally, they're being slept on a little bit, and I think that they're going to take opportunities to pounce.
Yep.
They totally know. How
Yep.
do you not know? I think these guys are going to take opportunities to pounce and take that extra base and make their presence felt in a Major League Baseball game.
All right, time to get sentimental. Jack McMullen with me now, Steven Strom, Jeff Nelson doing the car wash today. He's doing TV, okay? He's got pre and post on TV, and then he'll come in here and call 1 to 9. I can't think of a better analyst to do Paul Skeens and Sandy Alcantara on opening day than Jeff Nelson, so I'm excited to bring him on.
Yeah.
But we welcome you into the family. What is so crazy sometimes about life is the team that you were broadcasting for was who, Jack McMullen?
It was Indianapolis.
Ah.
I was in Indianapolis, which was the AAA affiliate
Of who?
of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Is that funny how things work that way? Just when you saw that originally, were you like, oh my God, this is destined? Or what was the initial thought?
Smirked.
I
just smirked. I was like, that's funny.
Yeah.
No, it's cool. And I will say, and I've shared this with a couple of people, in minor league baseball, I think you feel hidden at points. I know players feel that way. And there were times in minor league baseball. I mean, dude, I started this in college summer ball in 2018. And then I was in Auburn, New York. The ballpark was like next to a prison in Auburn, New York. And I was, like I was getting paid $50 a game to do that. And then you go to low
Not a
A.
bad rate.
No, not a whole but like you go to single A and you're hanging out in Fort Wayne. I somehow managed to live next to a jail again.
Yeah.
And then we go to Indianapolis, and there are points in the minor league journey where you feel like you're just not being heard when you're doing this, and players feel like they're not being seen. I'm
Sure.
so close yet I'm so far. I'm an affiliate of baseball, but I'm so far away. I will say one of the things that really helped me, I think, not only get seen but like feel seen a little bit. Like, wow, people know what I sound like on a game. Was the opening day starter for the Pirates today. Like Paul Skeens was with us for the first month and a half last year. I got to know Paul decently well, and he's a great guy on top of being a great pitcher. And him dominating the way he did in AAA gave me the confidence to call the elite of the elite. So I will say, in a weird way, I owe a lot to Paul Skeens. I owe a lot to that organization for giving me that shot in AAA baseball. But I am so excited to be a member of the Marlins family, and Marlins baseball is my life, man. Like I'm going to make that my life, and I'm so excited to be here. And the family has been so overwhelmingly welcoming to me, from people that are with the team to even fans on Twitter. They've just been so nice and so warm, and I'm excited to be a Marlin for a long time.
It's a really good fan base, man, and it's a very underrated fan base. And I said this before, they know their stuff, they're passionate, and they'll come at you. And I can appreciate all those things, and we're so excited to bring you Marlins baseball. 162 games, Fox Sports 940. Again, Steven Strom, Jack McMullen, Jeff Nelson going to join us at 4:10. First of 4. And Jack, you weren't here last year, but this was a tough start to the season for the Marlins. They faced the Pirates the first 4. They got swept and ended up losing the 3 games to the Angels. That's not happening this time around.
No, and
we're not going to let it happen.
That first one was like butting heads. I mean, it was extra
5-2. They
innings.
were up. I know.
It was it was a lot.
Tough.
But no, I think this one, I've said it plenty of times. Very few times do you get a starting pitching billing like this that actually lives up to the expectations. I feel pretty good that this one's going to live up to the expectations, because both those guys know who's on the other side.
I do too.
And I'm really excited. This is going to feel, I think, more like a heavyweight fight than anything in Major League Baseball today.
Couple more minutes with you, and then you can go rest, recover, hibernate for probably the next 25 minutes.
Caffeine.
The injury updates.
Yeah.
We got a couple, and we got some good news. We'll first start here with Edward Cabrera. He got placed on the 15-day IL with the right middle finger blister. Declan Cronin, 15-day IL, left hip strain. Connor Norby on the 10-day IL with that left oblique strain, but we learned today that he's starting baseball activities.
That's great. And it sounds like, although I saw grade 1 for both Norby and Jesus Sanchez, it seems like he's resuming baseball activities a little bit quicker than Sanchez. It's awesome that Norby can get back into baseball activities this quickly. There are 2 guys that I've seen around the clubhouse, Connor Norby and Ryan Weathers as well, that seem upbeat right now. And they seem like they are itching to get on the field. And those are 2 guys I know we're looking at in terms of being a breakout nationally.
100%.
When people in LA, when people in Seattle, when people in Toronto look at the Miami Marlins, I think they're going to circle Xavier Edwards and Sandy right now. But when Norby and Weathers are back, I think they're going to start to circle Norby and Weathers.
As we make our way down, Ryan Weathers, you just mentioned 15-day IL with that left flexor muscle sprain. Valente Belloso was recalled from AAA Jacksonville. We anticipate seeing him this weekend make a start for the Marlins.
On Saturday. So we know that Gillespie is starting on Friday and then Belloso on Saturday. Excited to see what Valente can do. Valente was arguably the best pitcher for the Miami Marlins after the All-Star break. It was a 3.5 ERA after the break.
Starts. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, this guy, he was really good, and he was a magic man.
Misses barrels.
He misses barrels.
I love a guy that misses barrels.
It's just a bunch of different pitches, move a bunch of different ways in a bunch of different spots, and guys are going to be on their heels.
Yep.
And he's going to win when he gets guys on their heels, and that's what you love. So excited to see Connor Gillespie make his first Major League start tomorrow. That'll be tomorrow at 7:10 p.m., and you are live at 6:30 p.m.?
Tomorrow's at 7:10. Yes, 6:30.
6:30.
Yep, 40-minute.
Connor Gillespie, I'm excited for. That fastball plays really well. It takes off, and he gets a lot of swings underneath fastballs. And then Valente Belloso, fastball's been a little bit better this spring. He's still trying to feel out the secondary pitches, but once he gets everything down, he's got legitimately 5 pitches that he can turn to get guys out.
And he's done it before at the level, at least for 13 starts. You got to maybe just throw out that spring training ERA and hope and think and maybe pray a little bit that he's able to turn it on once the regular season obviously starts for him on Saturday. The last individual, Graham Pauley, recalled from AAA. Not only recalled, he's going to start today. He is going to start at third and bat 8th. We saw him on Tuesday hit the home run. I mean, how about the week of Graham Pauley? Sent down, option, called up. Hey, come Tuesday, come home run. You know what? You're going to start here.
How about our conversation with him in the clubhouse today? I mean, he
care to share.
All smiles, man. He was great. But no, it was funny. You asked him, like, what was going through your head when you heard that you weren't going to Jacksonville for picture day and you were coming to Miami to play an exhibition game? And I cut him off. I was like, was it go yard? He was like, no, it was just compete, man, and try and play the game at a high level. And I will say we got about 6 innings of Graham Pauley on Tuesday against the Yankees in that exhibition. And he competed at a high level.
He really did. He earned his spot. I mean, he really did earn the spot. I mean, obviously with Connor Norby being out, it was open. Could it have gone to Bride, who's going to DH today? Wagaman, I love Wagaman.
Yeah.
And then, Graham Pauley. But they seem to really like his defense. They like his swing. And he was a guy that got traded from San Diego last year. I think it was with the Arise trade, not the Tanner Scott and Brian Hoeing one. I think it was the first one with Dylan Head. But all of a sudden, Graham Pauley at 24 years old is in the fold. Maybe a name we didn't pencil in or really talk about prior to spring training, but here he is.
I think we viewed it as outside shot.
Yeah.
And, situations become available and outside shots become reality. And he was a guy that put himself in position. He hit about 270. He was hitting the ball hard in spring training, and he was playing good defense at third base. Connor Norby obviously looked like the everyday third baseman, but if Connor goes down, what's the answer? And Graham Pauley put himself in a position to be the answer for the Miami Marlins. Credit to Graham. He's got some family here. Flying down from Atlanta, from that area. He's from Alpharetta.
Yep.
So he's got a lot of people coming down for this one. I was just talking to Matt Mervis, the dugout. I said, how many people you got here? He said, 18. It's like, whoa,
Very
man.
good. Very good for Murph.
It's crazy, man. But no, this is such a humongous day for all these guys who are all pretty much making their first opening day start.
Unbelievable. I need to break because I need to get a water. I'm going the distance again. We started here at 2:30. So fired up. Everyone's joining me. Fox Sports 940. Home of Marlins baseball all season long. We're on StreamYard. We're on X. We're on YouTube all season long. Let's break. I got Steve's guarantees. We had a great conversation with Bruce Sherman, Peter Bendix, and Clayton McCullough. What else we got? We got some more. We got player intros. We are less than a half hour from 2025 Marlins opening day. So let's break here. Let me get some water. Do not move a muscle. 4:10 first pitch. 1st to 4 between the Marlins and the Pirates right here on the Marlins Radio Network.
Man. Norby hands next to his right ear, ready, and he sends one into left center field. That's in for a base hit. Koperniak picks it up. Run is going to score. Serna wheels around, goes first to third, and Sanoha in on the RBI single from Connor Norby. An older woman picked it up off the ground. Norby rips one into left center. That's in for a base hit. He's got a 2 RBI day. Conine stops at second, and Connor Norby with a multi-hit, multi-RBI day. It's 2-0 in the third. First pitch to Brantley He rips down the right field line. That is tailing towards the line. It is gone, and it's a home run. A screamer of a line drive. And Rob Brantley parks one towards the Cardinal complex. A 3-run home run, and the Marlins are up 5-0 in the bottom of the third. At third, Edwards at short. Presumably Otto at second. Stowers lines one just over the glove of Mason Wynn at short into center. Around third, Connor Norby heads home, and he scores. And it's a 3-spot for the Fish in the fifth. RBI single for Kyle Stowers. No score in the bottom of the first. And Jonah Bride lifts one out to center field and deep. Michael Ciani working back, ranging to right center. He jumps up, and it's off the top of the wall. The right fielder Walker picks it up. Bride wheeling around second, headed to third. Wynn's relay throw is not in time, and Jonah Bride has a 2-out triple.
Well, here we go. We are inching closer and closer. Marlins and Pirates, first of 4. Sandy Alcantara will start for the Marlins for the first time since 2023. Made his final start against the Washington Nationals back on September 3rd when 8 innings and 2 earned runs ended up undergoing Tommy John, missing that 2024 season last year. That was tough for everyone. You know, a 100-loss season. A lot of optimism going into this season with Clayton McCullough and a plethora of prospects that are really, I think, itching to prove their worth and that they could play at this level. The lineup, Jack will read to you in probably about 20 minutes, but other than Xavier Edwards and Nick Fortes and Jonah Bride, there's a lot of new names. No Connor Norby right now with that 15-day IL stint for him with that oblique strain. He is doing baseball activity. No Jesus Sanchez as well. So a lot of new names and a lot of young guys that are going to make their opening day debuts today. But excited. I mean, you know, it's the beauty of baseball. It's 162 games. You don't know what the heck can happen. You have no idea. You roll with the punches. You throw out your roster. Here you go. Let's play Paul Skeens, Sandy Alcantara. You take it day by day. You know, they got a great coaching staff, and they all are have an insatiable desire to teach, which is what you're looking for with the coaching staff. So I'm excited to get this thing going. 162, Fox Sports 940 Miami. I'll be with you every single night. Jack, Nelly, we got a great bunch of analysts. You know, Kelly Sacco, Rod Allen, Gabby Sanchez, AJ Ramos is going to join us as well. So we're going to take player intros. What do we got here? We got this about 3:47. So let me keep it here. And let's get to the best segment, I think, in all of radio. It's time for Steve's Guarantees.
Batter up. Batter up.
Let's play some ball.
First pitch is moments away. Time now for Steve's Guarantees.
Well, I'm going to use my first aggressive, but I'm going to use my first yard card today. I am going to predict that Griffin Conine turns on one and hits one out here on opening day against Paul Skeens. That's my first one, okay? We know Griffin Conine, his work ethic is unmatched, unparalleled. He's using Traject. I heard a little birdie told me that Griffin Conine took about 120 cuts on the Traject showing Paul Skeens. If you don't know what Traject is a system like a machine that has the exact wind-up delivery as the pitcher with the same velo, with the same spin. It's unbelievable. We got a chance to check it out during spring training. Griff was on that thing, on that bad boy last night. I like him to turn on one and hit one out. And if I better get some respect on my name if that does happen. Secondly, Sandy Alcantara, got to go with the quality start here. Usually, the pitchers are ahead of the batters for opening day. Sandy has been waiting for this moment. He's been locked in all spring long. I think this is a great spot for him to go 6 innings, less than 3 runs. That's what's considered a quality start these days. The 6 is really the only thing that I'm hesitant on because I don't know how the coaching staff is going to manage Sandy, particularly early on. We know he had Tommy John last year, but we also know the guy wants to go 9 innings and throw 300 pitches every game. So that yin and yang, that's going to be interesting to see how that is sort of played out throughout the season. But I do like Sandy Alcantara to throw a quality start here this afternoon. Griffin Conine to hit a home run as well. Okay, without further ado, let's go down here to Frank Fernandez, who has taken over PA responsibilities. Big day, not only here at the ballpark, across all of baseball. It's opening day 2025. And let's head down to listen to Frank Fernandez.
Leading off, the left fielder, number 28, Tommy Pham. Batting second, the right fielder, number 10, Brian Reynolds. Batting third, the center fielder, number 15, O'Neal Cruz. Batting fourth, the catcher, number 14, Joey Bart. Batting fifth, the designated hitter, number 22, Andrew McCutcheon. Batting sixth, the second baseman, number 39, Nick Gonzalez. Batting seventh, the first baseman, number 5, Andy Rodriguez. Batting eighth, the third baseman, number 13, Brian Hayes. And batting ninth, the shortstop, number 7, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. And now, fans, get on your feet as we meet the 2025 Miami Marlins. Welcome to the third base line, the Marlins support staff. Director of Team Travel, Sydney Ansley. Home Clubhouse Manager, Will Simon. Visiting Clubhouse Manager, Rock Hughes. Clubhouse Assistant, Carlos Ochoa. Clubhouse Assistant, Anthony Perez. Clubhouse Assistant, Jeremy Reuter. Head Athletic Trainer, LJ Petra. Assistant Athletic Trainer, Jose Alvarez. Assistant Athletic Trainer, Brad LaRosa. Assistant Athletic Trainer, Victor Scarpone. Assistant Athletic Trainer, Drew Scott. Major League Physical Therapist, Mike Chamberlain. Head Major League Strength and Conditioning Coach, Daniel Vega. Assistant Strength and Conditioning Coach, DJ Johnson. Major League Registered Dietitian, Erica Gonzalez Rebel. Major League Mental Skills Coach, Marius Alexa. Major League Analyst, Jacob Bickman. Major League Video Coordinator, Austin Lamkey. And now, the coaches and reserves for your 2025 Miami Marlins. First, the coaches. In the bullpen catcher, Chichi Gonzalez. In the bullpen, the catching coach, Joe Singley. In the bullpen coach, Brandon Mann. In the bullpen, the assistant pitching coach, Alan Leichman. In the bullpen, pitching coach, Daniel Moskis. Strategist, performance and data integration, Bryson Nakamura. Field coordinator, Aaron Lanhart. First base coach, Tyler Smarslock. Third base coach, Blake Lawley. Assistant hitting coach, Derek Showman. Hitting coach, Pedro Guerrero. And bench coach, Carson Vitale. And now the reserves for your Miami Marlins. Infielder, number 1, Connor Norby. Outfielder, number 7, Jesus Sanchez. Catcher, number 19, Rob Brantley. Pitcher, number 23, Max Meyer. Pitcher, number 27, Edward Cabrera. Pitcher, number 29, Braxton Garrett. Pitcher, number 30, Tyler Phillips. Pitcher, number 32, Ronnie Henriquez. Number 33, Eric Wagaman. Catcher, number 34, Liam Hicks. Pitcher, number 35, Ryan Weather. Pitcher, number 37, Anthony Bender. Pitcher, number 38, Jesus Tonoco. Pitcher, number 39, Eury Perez. Pitcher, number 43, Andrew Nardi. Infielder, number 46, Javier Sanoja. Pitcher, number 47, Cal Quantrill. Pitcher, number 51, Declan Cronin. Pitcher, number 53, Calvin Fauché. Outfielder, number 54, Dane Myers. Pitcher, number 55, Connor Gillespie. Pitcher, number 59, Anthony Veneziano. Pitcher, number 62, George Soriano. Pitcher, number 83, Valente Belloso. Pitcher, number 84, Lake Bacher. And now, Topps brings you the starting lineup for your Miami Marlins. Led by manager Clayton McCullough. Leading off, the shortstop, number 9, Xavier Edwards. Batting second, the left fielder, number 28, Kyle Stowers. Batting third, the designated hitter, number 41, Jonah Bride. Batting fourth, the first baseman, number 36, Matt Mervis. Batting fifth, the second baseman, number 6, Otto Lopez. Batting sixth, the right fielder, number 18, Griffin Kuna. Batting seventh, the center fielder, number 3, Derek Hill. Batting eighth, the third baseman, number 21, Graham Pauley. And batting ninth, the catcher in the bullpen, number 4, Nick Fortes. Your pitching matchup for today for the Pirates, number 30, Paul Skeeng. And for your Miami Marlins, number 22, Sandy Alcantara.
All right, excellent stuff. You heard it. Sandy Alcantara, Paul Skeens, and a loud response for Sandy, who makes his return to the mound for the first time in 571 days. Let's get to our X-Poll question at Marlins Radio. Sandy's making his 5th opening day start, which leads the Marlins franchise. Who is second on the list with opening day starts? Well, you're going to have to guess and vote at Marlins Radio. Folks, I hope you got the itch for first pitch, because when we come back, Jack McMullen paints a picture. Jeff Nelson, he's ready to rock. Starting lineups in first pitch is right around the corner. Thanks for tuning in to the Marlins On Deck pregame show. I'm Steven Strom. Let's flip the M together, Miami. First of 162. Marlins baseball is next. This is the Marlins Radio Network. At Loan Depot, we're big on